Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new Invincible spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinneberg. Today, I am breaking down, just giving my general spoiler thoughts on the first three episodes of season three. Those three episodes dropped on Thursday, and then starting this upcoming Thursday, we will get one episode per week. So we got three episodes, and there are eight in total here. So we have a lot more, let me see, 5 more weeks to go watching some Invincible. So my name is Max Zimmerg. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, box office breakdown shows every Monday. As well as movie franchise rankings and out of theater reactions. So if you're new, subscribe, ring the bell, get us to 300 subscribers. Really trying to push for that in the next month or two. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. What are your thoughts on Invincible Season 3? Do you like it? Do you not like it so far? What are your bold predictions for the final 5 episodes of Season 3? Let me know. I want to talk as much Invincible as possible. And also, please hit the thumbs up button. That's how you support the channel. So before I get in my review, I do want to say I'm sorry for not getting this review for you guys out on Thursday or even Friday. I didn't want to overload you guys. I had so much content last week. And I saw new movies on Thursday and Friday. So it'll be basically posting 3 or 4 videos a day. And that doesn't help me out. It makes my heart a lot harder to make sure I'm putting the equal amount of effort into each video. And I wanted to focus a lot more on trying to watch Invincible without. I don't love juggling so many different things at once, like watching Invincible, one episode, then watching a movie, then watching. I wanted to watch all three, get my complete thoughts, then give my review. So I didn't want to rush that and, as they say, half-ass a video for you guys. So I wanted to spend the time, watch the 3 episodes, because if you're new to the channel, I have broken down each episode of seasons 1 and 2. This is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And honestly, it's my favorite superhero TV show of all time. This show does mean the world to me. When it came out, I was so surprised how much I engaged in it, was emotionally invested in this show. And it really took off in season 2. I really liked season 2, but it didn't garner the much more attention that season 1 got. But luckily, so far, season 3 has. And the reason why is this is top tier Invincible here so far in season 3. Now, when I do the breakdowns for the next 5 episodes, I will be breaking down each particular storyline in the episodes. It's hard to break down episode by episode for 3 episodes on this video because I do want to keep it as tight as possible so it doesn't go to a 30-minute video. So I'm just going to recap for the big things that happened in season 3. So overall, we get Oliver now is back within the family here in season 3 of Invincible. But the big thing here is, I'll say this, episode 2 is one of the best episodes of Invincible, easily like the top 2 or 3 episodes of the show, which is this confrontation you see behind me between Mark and Cecil. Mark kills Angstrom Levy, which really is not okay. That's really the first time Mark viciously killed someone like his father. But he is not okay that Cecil is teaming up with people who are criminals. And in episode 2, we get a Cecil origin story in episode 2, which is the fact that Cecil was a cop, but went in prison because he killed 2 people working for the CIA who actually were criminals in the past, who he stopped in the past, which is Mark's point in the present time. Cecil went to prison for years, but learned that you can either be the good guy or you can be the person who wants to save the world. Can't be both. That is Cecil's line in his origin story and is the last word spoken in episode 2. And at this point, Mark and Cecil are on different sides. And Cecil, rightfully so, has to leave protection for people, that he can't just assume that Mark is going to be a saint of a person, someone who will always be there, because guess what? He did that with Omni-Man, and that didn't work out. And Cecil and the government have every right to at least have some protection. Now, maybe sticking a thing in Mark's brain where, the button that Cecil has, that's not like an earpiece, it's actually inside of him. Even worse than even like kind of like an Amanda Waller move. That I think really crossed the line. That basically they have something in Mark. And they became at a point where now Mark is trying to basically not separate, but at least show the Guardians of the Globe how expensible they probably are. And it's not wrong. I think there's clear arguments to both sides here with Cecil, which Cecil does have a right to at least have some either backup plan or some protection in case Mark turns into his father. They have every right to not assume Mark's a saint of a person who will be saving the world forever. Because obviously they trusted that with Omni-Man. Omni-Man out of nowhere lost everyone's trust. But Mark, they definitely crossed the line without speaking to Mark about it, or at least having a discussion with Mark about it, and putting something in him without his consent. Is not a smart move. And you kind of knew when that happened, they crossed the line. It was such a intense episode where Mark's choking out Cecil, the Guardians of the Globe get involved. They're divided, seeing Rex explode, help Mark, and the group of people saying that we're expendable. If Cecil would do that to Mark, imagine what he would do with us. And it was really emotional, very intense. I was on the edge of my seat. It is a top tier television episode that gave you motive and reasoning for Cecil, because we know what Mark's reasoning is. He's the main character of the show. We know his motivation, but it was about damn time we actually got to learn about Cecil. Cecil is one of the best characters on the show, voiced very well by Walton Goggins, and it was the perfect time to do an origin story. Most shows just do one every episode an origin story, and a lot of shows that pays off for them. But this show did a really good job waiting until episode 2 of season 3 to get an origin story of one of the main 5 characters on the show. And it was timed so well, not just that last line of dialogue, but really understanding Cecil's perspective. Even if you disagree with Cecil, even if you think Cecil went too far with Mark, you at least understand his perspective. So that whole episode was very intense. As I said, Oliver is now in this equation, and he has a big WTF moment, which is that they're trying, Mark and Debbie are very protective, obviously, of Oliver in these episodes. But Oliver definitely has a lot of his dad in it. He wants to be called Kid Omni-Man, and Mark's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. People are not going to be ready for that. And then obviously we get the Mauler twins, and that is where we see Oliver kill both Mauler twins. And maybe the first one could have been an accident, but when he killed the second one and had like no regret over it, and he was talking about the unimportance of normal people, that was basically Omni-Man's speech to Mark, which is that these people are not important. We're going to outlive all of these people. Their lives don't matter. And that's the difference in Mark, is that Mark sees, he really is the perfect half Viltrumite, half Earth, half human, half Earth person. And honestly, Oliver is not like that. He's half Viltrumite and half this other, race and, alien species. And Mark has built, because Oliver has aged so much, he hasn't had the time to spend time on Earth as much as Mark has. Mark went to high school, had a normal life, didn't get his powers until he was 17. He always felt like he was a human first, not a Viltrumite at all, even with his dad being Omni-Man. And for Omni-Man's son, Oliver, he doesn't see that, because not just is his father Omni-Man, his brother's Invincible, and there's so much superpowering people around them. The fact that Debbie is okay with it now, and he's not a normal kid. They have to like wash him down so he looks not alien. Not, they get rid of the purple. Mark is the perfect superhero because he's a normal kid. He has friends who are not superpowered. He prefers to be with people who are not superpowers. That's why him and his mom have such a great relationship compared to him and his dad, because Debbie is a non-superpowered person. And when he starts spouting some of that stuff, and then, Mark and Debbie have the conversation, even though Oliver apologizes, he still, I think, believes in what he did. I don't think he regrets what he did. And that's going to make Oliver an extremely dangerous character on the show. We only had Omni-Man once in this first 3 episodes, which was the post-credit scene of the first episode of the season, which, he seems very protective over Alan. But it does seem like Nolan is trying to change his ways, which will make for an interesting conflict if Nolan's starting to change his ways and it's Oliver who still feels the beliefs of Omni-Man were true. So when Omni-Man comes back to Earth, obviously that's what we've all been waiting for since the last episode of season one. Another great part of these episodes is finally Mark and Adam Eve are a couple. And it was something that was very much hinted at, was trying to happen in season one, but obviously Mark went off with Eve. And that again was him wanting to be with not a superpowered person, not wanting to be dictating his life. But at the end of season two, when Mark sees the future out of me, she says, "You have to make a decision." I was tormented my whole life that Mark said nothing to me about her, our feelings for each other. And she said it ruined her life. And she said, either you have to tell her right now. Either tell her that you have feelings for her and you want to have a relationship, or you tell her that you're not interested. You just have to give her some closure on the situation. And Mark did not in season two. Now, Mark does start season three in a debate of, I have feelings for Eve, like I would like this to be a thing, but also it definitely gave me a boost that the future Eve wanted me to do this, and he didn't know if he should tell her or not. So Mark tells her in the first episode of the season, and she's like, "That's great, we can definitely do it." Then Mark starts spouting out that the future Eve and all this stuff, and that's when she's like, "We're different people, and she should not be dictating my life or anything." So they take a break, and then season two, episode two, they go through so much together, and again, they feel like the perfect couple. And it makes me honestly very nervous that something bad is going to happen. Mark and Amber were a very good couple. I like Amber a lot. I love the scene in episode three with Amber and Eve, where they're clearly still friends. And she's like, "Of course you guys are together." The fact that everyone around them believes that they're a couple, should be a couple. Episode three was really real. Like the opening sequence with the robbers, with the no music was really powerful and felt not too, honestly, I'm not in a relationship, but someone who is looking for jobs and stuff like that. And I obviously didn't rob any places, but it felt all too relatable at points in that episode, both with Eve and Amber, and both with the robbing scene in the opening sequence, that even our heroes don't understand the villain's full perspective. Which I found very interesting. But again, Eve and Mark feel like the perfect couple. Even their last scene in the third episode, Mark's like, "We missed our date." And obviously, if he missed their date with Amber, he was in big trouble, because obviously Amber has a normal life. She doesn't have to save people and go off. But obviously, Eve understands this. She's in college now. She's trying to do her own thing as well. But the fact that they're both superpowered people, they both have very complicated families. Eve had to basically give a very powerful scene in episode three to her parents, which is that, you don't have to like that I have powers, and I'm not going to, we have to make I'm not going to use powers in the house, but you have to accept me for who I am. When I see people are in trouble or people need help, I will be using my powers for those reasons. And she just wanted to be accepted by her parent. Now, obviously, her dad is an a-hole, who basically kind of like had to, because her mom was very obviously open to her coming back and living with them. But the fact that Mark's supportive of that, but then Eve, when he's like, "We missed our date," and he says, "I saw the news, you're all good." And then obviously he keeps saying, "How did I get so lucky?" They are an amazing couple, but it makes me nervous that something bad is going to happen, and especially, hopefully not. I'm all in for Mark and Eve. I'm really happy they didn't like drag this out for like a whole season of would they not be a couple. They kind of just did it right away in the season, which I think is a good idea. Again, I have not read the comics, so I have no idea what to expect next. And I have stayed away from Easter egg videos. I have stayed away from theory videos because I love the surprises of the show. And I get surprised every week. So I adore this show. Season three is off to a spectacular start. And I am so ready for these next 5 weeks to be covering Invincible for you guys. We had the ending of episode three post-credit scenes. It seems like Angsham Levy is back in play, maybe a different Angsham Levy, but he was kind of spying on Mark and his family. So we have to see if Angstrom becomes another big focus in the season. We shall see if Mark and Cecil ever get back together in that way. And does Omni-Man make it to Earth in this season? We know we got renewed already for season four, but I'm adoring the show. So what are your thoughts on Invincible season three? Let me know in the comment section, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.